The superconsciousness reflecting in our brain as the reality. Bhagavan says the third powerful force and the fourth powerful force. When you are in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when you have the powerful cognition and experience the Turiya state, we are in the third force. When we are ready with the third space, simply the Guru happens and manifests in our life as reality, initiating us into the Turiya Atita, making us manifest the higher dimensions as our reality. Even for few seconds, just 3 to 4 seconds, now science says you can be thoughtless. And if you are initiated into the higher consciousness, that 3 to 4 seconds is enough to get a glimpse, the satori of how you can experience the oneness. Now Bhagavan gives us the greatest signs for us to experience and manifest as powers that proves that we have experienced this greater reality. That is why Bhagavan says manifestation of power is nothing but beautiful space of oneness becoming real and experiencing that oneness as our existential reality. Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana, barbaric, was the greatest son of Gadokacha and the Nag, and the mother trained him in such a beautiful way, and then he from penance gets the bow and arrow. The arrow is so powerful that it can just kill everybody and come back as his bow and arrow. We don't know whether he's really a human or artificial intelligence. He was so precise in everything. And Krishna saw that when he joins the Kaurava, then simply everybody will be lost. And he goes and asks him to do a task, to find all the leaves in the tree and take it through his arrow. And Barbaric does the same as Krishna says. Once he does that, one of the leaf, Krishna hid it under his leg. Said, could you move your leg? The arrow is searching around your leg because otherwise it will hurt your leg. To Vishnu himself, then Barbaric, and Krishna says that Barbaric, I have to take you down because of the dharma that it has to be like that. And simply Barbaric says, okay, I'm ready to give up myself. And he gave up, did the tyaga, and he said, I just want to be the witness of seeing the whole war. And his head is placed on a hill and he watches the whole Kurukshetra war. And this is documented in Mahabharata. And beautifully Barbaric looks like the drone, how the drone is completely recording everything. He recorded everything, including the Bhagavad Gita. And simply the whole science was relayed. How beautifully the Sahadeva recorded when Bhishma was in the last rites and literally in the arrow bed, and he chanted the Vishnu Sahasranama. Then nobody recorded it, and then they found out that Krishna said Sahadeva has the Spadiga Linga Mala, and it was the recording of the audio recording. Like that, the whole video recording was done by Barbaric, and he was more like an artificial intelligence. Even now they have his head as a skull and they do the Durga Puja. And all this greater science was revealed in the planet Earth by Bhagavan himself to make us understand there's a lot of revelation that we can experience when we become the oneness. Stop all the differentiating notion and align to the higher science. Who we are, the Paramashiva is real. And we are also the body using that Paramashiva space to manifest our reality. Bhagavan beautifully explains in Atma Pramana how the tantrum throwing child, the differentiating notions can be simply dissolved into the oneness space and manifest huge powers of Paramashiva.
Then let's lie down. No, I don't want to lie down. It is suffocating. The tantrum throwing child should never be handled logically. Please listen. This is the key word. Do not ever try to have a conversation with the tantrum throwing child. The more conversation you have, more frustrated you will become. Because the tantrum throwing child is not debating with you. He is protesting against you. So the more you engage the child in dialogue, more you try to engage that part of you in conversation, the more you will become frustrated. More the tantrum throwing child will become empowered. If there is a light, in front of that light I am doing some shadow games. How they do the shadow games, moving their fingers through that, they create shadows, and that's through the shadows they tell stories. The shadow stories in shadow games. In the shadow game, one lion and one deer, both of them are fighting. The lion is attacking the deer. You feel so painful and compassionate, you just wanted to save that deer from the lion. What's the best way? Switch off the light. Don't try to strengthen the deer. Don't try to supply weapons to the deer. Don't give rifle to the deer. Don't attack the lion. All that will be stupid. You will be attacking your own hand, which is doing the shadow game. Just switch off the light. Then the whole shadow game loses its power. Same way, the tantrum throwing child in you is empowered when you engage in dialogue with that child. When you try to logically analyze with that child, reason with that child. If you tell that child, come on, all the time you are throwing tantrum, you don't go to office, you don't want to work in the house, you don't want to do completion, then what are you going to do? That is what empowers that child. You considering the child as an entity, you trying to complete with that child, you trying to deal with that child, empowers that tantrum throwing child. Leads to frustration of the tantrum throwing child and of you, frustration of you. Only thing you need to do, just sit. Yes, part of me is the tantrum throwing child. It is sitting like a butter on the fire. The fire is me, the space of completion. Just sit. Don't have the greed. The tantrum throwing child should melt away immediately. Don't have that fear what that stupid child is going to do to you and what all you have to go through. Nothing. When you sit in the banks of Ganga, silently, automatically there will be rain, shine, Ganga level raising up, down, you will be cleaned. Even if you don't enter into the Ganga and take bath. Just sit on the space of your completion with the tantrum throwing child, which is part of you. Suddenly you will see the tantrum throwing child, which is part of you, just melts away. After 2 days, you will not even be able to remember that part of you, which is all the time throwing tantrum. Understand the lesson I learned from that session, exactly what is happening. I wanted all of you to do that process. This is one of the core truth about completion. Understand? All of us carry that professional protesting child who just doesn't like anything, doesn't want anything, doesn't feel good with anything, doesn't feel homely with anything, doesn't like anything. Only it wants to break everything. Marriage, break it. Family, break it. Job, break it. House, break it. Spirituality, break it. Completion, break it. Anything it sees in front of its eyes, it just wants to break it. It just wants to break it. That's all. Sit with that child, knowing clearly your completion is powerful enough when you sit as that child. Don't even try to complete that child. Yes, this is the way part of me is. Just sit with that child. Don't have any dialogue. Don't even think, plan to complete that child. Don't think to relieve, all that. Not even a completion process. Just sit with that child and know very clearly your completion space will melt down that child. You will see like that incompletion. Suddenly, it will happen in like a fraction of a second. You will be in a different space. That heaviness, that load of that child is no more there. Not even that child is dead. That child is evaporated. Understand? It does not even die and leave its dead body. It just gets evaporated. I saw the day. The moment I started holding my space of Advaita, I could see like in the hot pan, the moment you put the butter, how it becomes ghee in few seconds. Same way, all these guys, their incompletion just evaporated. In a hot pan, if you put a handful of ice, not only it will become water, it will become steam. Same way, I saw all these guys just, their incompletions, the tantrum throwing child is evaporated. Listen. The Advaitic space is not my property. Understand? I am a wholesale dealer, but I am not proprietor. It is not my own property. All of you have it. All of you have that inside you. So decide to sit with your Advaitic space and with your tantrum throwing child. Actually, you are nothing but a fight between your tantrum throwing child and your Advaitic space. Unfortunately, you think you own the tantrum throwing child because an Advaitic space is very silent and polite. Because of that, you think he is not there.
Beautifully, Bhagavan said how the tantrum throwing child disappears when you just feel the oneness with Paramashiva. The more and more you understand that Paramashiva is real, the materialistic body, all this body that we possess, and all the outer world we are experiencing is nothing but a delusion. And how Bhagavan said, when you switch off, everything disappears. When you understand that Paramashiva is real, the higher consciousness, higher reality, simply everything disappeared into the higher space. You are a frequency, you are the quantum, you are Paramashiva, consciousness, the spirit, not just the materialistic world that we understand as matter and our body and mind. But beyond that, there exists Paramashiva, which is reflecting in our superconsciousness, in our brain. And that could reflect and become our reality. Now we are not able to perceive it. The perception, the cognitive shift, recognizing, Bhagavan says, recognizing, happens when you manifest all these powers and poke hole in your logic. Here, Ma Durga says, yesterday Kai sat for the first common test, English composition and additional math. He told me Swamiji downloaded the biomemory of the author to him. He was writing many flowery words that he didn't even know. In math, Kai received blessings from Swamiji before he attempted the paper. Swamiji, take care of him. Everything for this boy. Such a beautiful space that Paramashiva is real. Again and again, you experience the oneness with Paramashiva. Beautifully, now let's experience the space of Paramashiva, understanding higher science, how we exist as consciousness. Now we are going to experience the oneness with Paramashiva, manifest Paramashiva as reality, as Sarvanyatva. If you have Jnananjan in your Kantamala, you can apply in your third eye and your temple. Take some papers and pen. Write down the questions of places, positions, things, scientific details, anything you want. Just what you want to download about even the electromagnetic force, the soft nuclear force, all that forces that you need to understand, the gravitational force or strong weak nuclear force. All that, whatever you want, just write it down, write the question, and you're going to download the answers. And simply you can verify with Google whatever the questions are, simply the answers appearing exactly as it describes. Now sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Visualize Paramashiva, Parashakti, Sundareshwara, and absolute unclutching. Unclutching reprograms your brain, reprograms the finer grooves to make it reflect the superconsciousness, making you understand you're not just the body, you're not just the matter, you are frequency, you are consciousness. Why you came to planet Earth to experience the higher space. Paramashiva is real. You are Paramashiva. How in the mirror you see yourself and you're so happy. Same way you are mirroring the Paramashiva space as yourself. Chant the Mahavakya from your navel center. Continuously be in the listening. Listening is the key which puts your thoughts into zero. And chanting raises your frequency. When you merge into that oneness space of Paramashiva, even for a few seconds, you will experience all the auspiciousness, abundance, and whatever you have, it becomes the reality. And simply you can experience the greater science. Paramashiva is real. Now let's sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Start chanting the Mahavakya for downloading all the quantum space, the Sarvajñatva, all-knowingness, for the questions that you have written. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya with a deep listening.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashivam overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes.
Paramashivoham.
Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes.
Paramashivoham.
Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up.
Paramashivoham.
Manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes.
Paramashivoham,
Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up,
Paramashivoham,
manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
So beautiful. Please open your eyes. Whatever Paramashiva is manifesting, completely all the words that has been delivered, simply make sure all that is available exactly in the Google, and you can circle it and take a picture and share it with the world. All the questions that Paramashiva is asking, and simply the answers are just getting revealed. It's so beautiful. All the great saints, the Ramakrishna Paramahamsar or Ramana Maharshi or Mahapariva, all of them are Egasandagragi. That means they just can repeat anything when they hear it once. That is how Mahapariva knew 40 languages. When first Hanuman met Rama, he asked question in 9 grammar of Sanskrit, and Rama simply downloaded and manifested all that and answered so beautifully, he just melted away. All these great signs are available to all when we understand the greater signs, how Bhagavan said. And it is the manifestation of these greater signs as reality, as discovery, as invention and Nobel Prize. Each one of us can manifest all these when we know the higher reality, how to exist as Paramashiva and wake up as Paramashiva instead of struggling the limited cognition life that constantly we are going through. When we manifest all these powers, it pokes hole in our logic, self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred, and makes us understand Paramashiva is real. We'll have one more cycle of manifesting Sarvangatva, quantum memory, all-knowing, and manifest powers of Paramashiva. Let's write few questions, or if you have a partner, they can write it for you. And you can Google at the end of the session and share it with the world. Now, for a few minutes, put away your gadgets. Let's sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line and continuously chant the Mahavakya, experiencing the oneness and deep listening. Let's start chanting.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes.
Paramashivoham,
Let the Amrita pour,
Paramashivoham,
let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes.
Paramashivoham,
Let the Amrita pour,
Paramashivoham,
let the Varni open up,
Paramashivoham,
manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om
please share in tinyurl.com/manifestation, and if you see the $sign, you can donate to Kailasha. Whatever you offer dana, it simply builds the Kailasha inside you. Sorry for the technical glitch, there was a mute and I unmuted. Beautifully, all that powerful cognition, power manifestation, let's surrender to Bhagwan's lotus feet. Thanking all of you being here, collective integrity, manifesting the powers of Paramashiva, holding the higher space. Paramashiva is real as your cognition, as your reality, and simply manifesting the space of Paramashiva. Now let's surrender all this to Bhagwan's lotus feet in deep gratitude and deep earning Paramashiva as my thought, word and action, and Paramashiva as my reality, seeing everybody as Paramashiva, holding this powerful cognition. Let's end with Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you so much. See you at 6 p.m. in the Ekailasha for more power manifestation.